So if you have a budget of about $70 or 6,000 Indian rupees and you want to have the most amount of coverage or near 360-degree coverage around your car, and you want a 4K resolution at the front camera, you also want GPS, well, there's probably only one camera in the world that can satisfy all of these requirements. So this is the Dansker S60, the newly launching 4K triple channel dash cam from Dansker, and this is currently available at a pre-sale offer of $70 or about 6,000 Indian rupees. And in this video I'm going to do a full review of this camera, including its unboxing, its detailed on-screen settings, the app setup and the app settings, including the video quality. So this camera ticks a lot of boxes, and if you're in the market looking for a triple channel dash cam under the budget range, this video is simply for you. Let's take a look. So here's the box pack of the Dansker S60 4K triple channel dash cam, and straight up on the box you get this 4K Ultra HD logo. It says driving recorder. So first thing in the box is the main front camera. Get the Dansker logo right at front. Says 4K Ultra HD. You get this lens module. On one side you get this power button, mic button and a memory card slot. At the back you get a 2-inch LCD display. You get the interior camera with infrared lights, and the good thing about this is that the interior camera is rotatable, so you can adjust the angle of the camera based on your particular requirement. Nothing else on one side, and on the bottom you get the control buttons along with some ventilation holes. On top you get a Type-C port and a mini USB port along with the slot for the windshield mount. So this dash cam gets a very neat and a simple design going in for it, nothing too complicated. So let's move on further down into the box and see what more you get. So here's the windshield mount, which is basically a suction bracket. So all you need to do is just align this pin and slide it onto the windshield mount slot of the dash cam, and you're ready to go. So this mount has basically a 360-degree rotatable design, as you're seeing right now. So basically you can turn around the camera and record any direction which you want, and of course you can even tilt this suction mount right towards the front. But do note that if your car has a vertical windshield, as you're seeing right now, it might not be very compatible with that. You will have to slightly tilt the camera downwards if your car has a straight or a vertical windshield. So I particularly like cameras with a suction mount because it takes away the problem of having to stick the gum tape on the windshield, and given that this is a 360-degree rotatable mount, is the cherry on top. So here's the rear camera, which is specifically designed to be mounted outside the car, but of course it can be mounted inside the rear windshield if you prefer to do so. You also get this long cable, the power cable for the rear camera, with the L-shaped Type-C connector at one end, which plugs in into the Type-C port of the main front camera. Along with it you also get this 12-volt car charger, which is pre-attached to the power cable, and at the other end you get this mini USB port. And of course additionally you also get this external GPS logger, which you can have to stick right next to the dash cam on top of the windshield. Lastly, in the box you get a sticker for the rear camera's metal mount, and you also get some screws if you are planning on mounting the camera outside the car. You also get the user manual for the camera, wherein they have highlighted all the important aspects, such as the maximum support of memory card is about 256 GB. They have given the installation diagram, the technical specifications of the camera, of the display, and all the other related things, including the QR code to download the video app on Google Play Store and Apple App Store. Additionally, what's really important is that they have provided all the detailed technical specifications of this camera. So let me just zoom in the camera a bit more to show you that. So here are the technical details. So this camera gets a Novatec 96560 processor. The front camera sensor is a Galaxy GC4653. For the inside it's a GC2083, and the rear camera gets a Galaxy GC2083 sensor. The front camera shoots 4K at 30 fps, the interior camera shoots Full HD at 20 fps, and the rear camera shoots Full HD at 25 fps. Gets H.265 video encoding, supports U3 high-speed memory cards up to 256 GB, gets a 2-inch IPS LCD display, gets a built-in 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi module, supports video app, gets an external GPS, gets built-in microphone and speaker, and a 3-axis gravitational accelerometer. So you can pause the video and take a look at the specifications if you're interested in it. So I feel that this camera, coming in at a price of about 6,000 to 7,000 Indian rupees, is an excellent value for money choice to those who are looking for a good triple channel dash cam under a super tight budget. So now let's quickly take a look at the on-screen settings for the Dansker S60. So straight up on the main display, you get the front camera view, you get the cabin camera view and the rear camera view. All three cameras can be shown together. You also get this recording LED status right here. So if you want to switch between the camera views, just press the power button on the left here. It's going to switch between the different camera views and it circles back to the three camera view display together. So let's just pause the recording first, and once the recording is paused we can head into the settings. So here you have the recording settings. Let's head into that. So first of all, you have the resolution option. If you head into that, it says 4K front, 1080p cabin and 1080p rear. You can also shoot 2K front, 1080p cabin and 1080p rear camera view. Following that, you have the loop recording option, wherein you get 1 minute, 3 minute and a 5 minute option. Heading back, you get the cam display. You can make sure that the camera displays all three cameras together simultaneously, or you can select only the front, inside or the rear camera. Then you have the record audio option, basically the mic option. You can set it to off or on. Then you have the date stamp option. You can set it to off or on. Then you have the G sensor option. So you can set the sensitivity of the G sensor to low, medium or high. Then you have the infrared LEDs. You can set them to be on or off. Then you have the parking monitoring option, wherein you get the sensitivity to low, medium or high, or you can completely turn it off. Then lastly, you have the time lapse recording option, wherein you can turn off the recording or you can set it to 12 hours, 24 hours or 48 hours. Heading back, you get the system settings, and within which you get the screensaver option. You can set it to off or you can set it to 30 seconds, 1 minute or 3 minutes. Then you have the time display option. You can set it to on or off. Then you have the Wi-Fi option. You can set it to on or off. Then you have date and time. So you can customize the date and the date format right here. Then you have the time system, 12 hours or 24 hours. Then you have the beep sound. I'll just turn it off for now. Then you have the language option. So about 4 or 5 languages present right here. You can select according to your requirement. Then you have the frequency option, either 50 Hz or 60 Hz. Then you have the auto power off option with the time duration of 1, 2, 3, 5 and 10 minutes. Then you have the fatigue driving reminder. So this is going to remind you to take rest once you have driven for a certain duration of time. You can set it to 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, or you can turn it off. Then you have the time zone. You can set this according to your geographical location. Then you have the GPS information, shows you the signal strength of the GPS satellites. Then you have the speed units, kilometers per hour or miles per hour. Then you have the format SD card option. Then you have the default factory settings for the camera. Then you have the version info for the camera, and then you have app QR code. So this basically gives you the QR code to download the video app which is compatible with this dash cam. So I've just opened up the camera in my smartphone. I'm just going to scan it, and as you can see, it has opened up this link right here. So I'll just click on that. So the QR code takes me to the video dash cam, your Play Store app. So let's just install this app. So before we proceed further, I think it would be safe to turn on the Wi-Fi within the camera. So let's just head into the Wi-Fi settings and turn on the Wi-Fi. So the video app is now currently installed. Let's open it up. Let's click on the agree button. Then you have setup, click on allow. Then you have add camera. You just need to enable location. So currently it is showing the Wi-Fi username and password straight up on the display, so you don't have to keep searching for the password. So it's asking me to enable Bluetooth. I've connected that. So now it's heading into the Wi-Fi settings. So you can see the SSID is M660. So currently the SSID is being shown right here, and the password is the numerals 1 to 8. Let's click on the connect button and let's head back. And as you can see, the camera is now currently streaming on my smartphone. So basically the same options which you saw on the screen of the display, you basically get the same thing right here. So let's just head into the camera settings. So first of all, you have the sound recording option, then you have the video resolution, basically the same options which you just saw right there. And then you have a new option called as the exposure compensation. So you can adjust the exposure. Following that, you have collision sensing, Wi-Fi name, password, firmware version, format SD card and factory reset options. So similar options to what we saw on the on-screen settings. And here is a speedometer option as well. Since this camera gets a GPS, you can use a speedometer option as well. Then you have the album section within the app, wherein you can access the recorded videos right there. So you can switch between the camera views on the smartphone as well. So as you can see, I'm switching between the front, interior and the rear camera view, and you also get a triple camera view together in the smartphone screen. So basically this is a simple and straightforward setup on the video app, and this app is kind of very easy to use, easy to understand and very simple. So you can easily connect the Dansker N60 and use the app in order to access settings or view the recordings as well. So starting off with the video quality from the front camera. So this shoots a 3840 into 2160p 4K resolution at 30 fps, gets a bitrate of about 21,000 kbps and a file size of about 154 MB per minute. The front camera uses a Galaxy GC4653 sensor, and as you can see, the video quality from the front during daytime is quite good. The parameters of the video, including the saturation, the contrast and the brightness levels, are very natural looking, and there is no noise or no haziness in the video which you might find in most cameras within this price range. So considering this video quality and considering the price of this camera, I definitely can say this is totally worth the money, and the kind of front camera quality which you're getting at this price point, you probably are going to get a very few cameras which are able to do that within this price range. So moving on to the nighttime video quality, kind of resembles what we just saw during daytime in terms of the contrast levels, but in terms of brightness, it does seem to be a bit bumped up. You see those high bright areas on the road and the lights of the vehicles. So in those terms, it's a bit on the higher side. You can also notice a mild level of noise in the video, and that's totally normal considering the budget this camera comes at. The overall video quality is quite good. The field of view of this camera is also wide enough to cover a large area in front of the car. So considering all of these aspects, I definitely would say that the Dansker S60 is a value for money champion dashcam within the price range, and the front camera quality, especially during daytime, is definitely worth to consider. Moving on to the interior or the cabin camera, so this shoots a full HD resolution at 20 frames per second, has a bitrate of about 7000 kbps and a file size of about 54 MB per minute, and this uses a Galaxy GC2083 sensor. Now straight up you can see that the field of view of the cabin camera is also quite good. You are able to cover the driver's side window and to a very minimal extent the passenger side window, and of course the entire cabin of the car gets covered as well. Although the resolution part is like okay, most of the cameras only give you a full HD resolution. The frame rate is on the lesser side, that's 20 fps, but just for evidence purposes 20 fps should be able to give you a good shot. The brightness and the contrast levels do look more or less balanced. The saturation part might need some calibration, but overall the interior of the cabin camera is sufficient for the price this camera comes at. Moving on to the nighttime footage using the cabin camera, so you see this purple tinge on the video, and that's because of the infrared lights built in into the camera. So you see that the camera is like trying to compensate for the light that's right behind the car. So whenever it detects high brightness, it switches to regular color mode, and if it detects the area getting darker, the camera switches back automatically to the infrared mode, giving you that characteristic purple tinge. But you do have the option of turning off the infrared light, which will give you a real color video that might turn out to be a bit darker, but at least it will be close to what a natural footage would look like. In case if you are turned on the infrared lights, you will have a purple tinge on the video during night time. Moving on to the rear camera quality, so this too shoots a full HD resolution but with a slightly bumped up FPS of 25 compared to the 20 FPS of the cabin camera. Has a similar bitrate and file size of about 7000 kbps and 54 MB per minute. Uses a similar sensor, Galaxy GC2083 sensor. Now in terms of brightness, it's quite good. In terms of contrast and in terms of highlights and shadows, it might need a bit more of work. But as I previously, the rear camera is not for like professional use or not for like your YouTube vlog videos. If you're using this camera simply for evidence-based purposes, for insurance claims or any other similar matters, this rear camera quality would be sufficient. And let me remind you that this camera is an under 7 to under 8,000 budget camera, and there couldn't be anything I could complain against this considering the budget this camera comes at. So the rear camera quality of course cannot match what the front gives you, but overall this would be sufficient for the price. Moving on to the nighttime sample, now we do see a high glare of headlights coming right behind the car, and this is characteristic of most rear cameras coming within this price range. But I do feel the rear camera does offer a good field of view. does offer a good illumination of the surrounding. I mean, if there are no vehicles at the back, you will probably get a good decent view of the rear. But if there are vehicles, if there is any traffic right behind you, you might observe a blob of headlight within the rear camera recording. The rear camera quality is just enough for the price and should be sufficient enough to use as evidence in any particular requirement. So this dash cam, I think, is a terrific value for money product simply because it offers so many features which probably no other camera offers within that price range. And if you're someone who usually drives more during daytime and not much during nighttime, this would suit you simply the best. So if you are interested in purchasing this dash cam, the purchase link is provided right down below in the description. So currently this dash cam is having a pre-sale launch offer wherein you will get this camera at about $70 or close to 6,000 Indian rupees. Go ahead and grab this at this superb discounted price. If you do have any doubts or queries regarding this, just write that down in the comments. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. And if this video has helped you out in any way, make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and share this video with all your friends who want some 4K triple channel dash cams under the budget range. See you in the next one.